and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good morning, Philippines. You are watching the Business Portal, your information source, the business trends, opportunities, and money-wise tips. Coming to you live on Channel 8 via Destiny Cable and Channel 213 on Sky Cable and Channel 1 via GSAT. Good morning. I am your host, Rowena Suarez, and you can call me Ro for short. Our segment, Investment Academy, talks about the different ways to increase investment capacity, financial literacy, and awareness. Investment Academy will show Filipinos not only how to make money, but also how to create wealth. Let's start our show with our Just Ask Ro portion. So from texter 6290, how much capital should I start with a small buy and sell business? I want to do it this Christmas. Okay, since this is going to be, I think, a sideline of yours and it's a small business that you're going to do, have a capital that you are willing to let go of. Meaning, let's say if you have a 5 or 10,000 money that you have right now and you are willing to gamble that in the business that you're going to get into, then that's how much you should start. You should actually just start with what you can afford. Don't go overboard because if it doesn't push through or it doesn't become successful, then it might affect your whole financial budget within yourself, your personal financial budget, or your families. So just start within money that you can afford to lose. So at least that's a calculated risk for you. And from email at justaskro@gmail.com, I am a life insurance agent. How much tax should I pay? Okay, so I guess you watched the show last week. We were talking about the tax with accountant Susan Bigay. She said that, let's say, for insurance agents or people who are in the profession, like a professional, the people who are paying the professional tax receipt, that's doctors, lawyers, insurance agents, you pay 3% of your income if your income is 1.9 million and below. But over 1.9 million, then you pay a 12% VAT. So again, if your income is 1.9 million and below, then you pay a 3% tax. But if it is over 1.9, then you have a 12% VAT. 3% is a percentage tax. 12% is VAT. 1.9 million and above. Okay, so I hope that I made that clear. Twitter, given the market's downturn, should I still buy? I'm afraid to lose money. That will be my 13th month. Okay, can I just answer that later? I'll actually ask our guest to answer your questions. So for questions, you may get in touch with us through 0917-862-7576. That's 0917-862-7576. That's justaskro@gmail.com. And you can also send me a message at Twitter, _askro. And you can also view our show on YouTube, Investment Academy by Rowena Suarez. Our guest for the day is the head of business development of Regina Capital. Please, again, he already became our guest before, and there were so many inquiries about it. So again, let us welcome Mr. Luigi Limlingan. Hi, Luigi. Thanks for coming again.
Hi, Rowena. It's nice to be back.
That's good. So I guess you're going to be our resident stock market resource speaker.
Sure. I mean, if the audience would like that, I'd be willing and able to help them.
Yeah. So thanks again for coming. So a brief career again. So I remember you studied in London.
That's right. Well, again, before I went to London, I spent several years working in the banking industry, and then I moved into mutual fund. And of course, as you said, I took my MBA in London Business School before going back to the Philippines. And in between, I took a short project in Singapore.
I see. So right now, you are very active in the business, which is Regina Capital. And I know this is a family business, right?
That's right. It's a family-run business. It's been in operations for nearly 25 years. Actually, our 25th anniversary is next year.
Oh, okay. That's good. So 25 years, that's a long time. And in this kind of business, that really speaks something about the company to last that long.
Yes.
Am I correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So so right now the market is up, down. It actually, I think when the last time we talked, the market went already up at 7,000.
That's right.
Right? And then it went down, and then it actually went down to the 6,000 level again.
That's right.
So what's happening right now?
Well, let's go back a few months. So I would say that I'll begin in the mid-October, right? There was we were hearing all these talks about the tapering of QE. So what was happening was
what is QE?
Well, sorry, for the audience that's unaware, that there's this concept called quantitative easing, meaning the U.S. government is trying to stimulate the economy, and they're doing that by actually buying the bonds or the debt that's circulating, in hopes that in exchange for them buying it, the money that's already circulating in financial institutions will find their way to the lower economy, right? So
lower economy meaning the mainstream people?
Yeah, meaning the retail sector.
Okay.
It'll more of a trickle-down effect.
Okay.
So there was talk that they might already start the tapering, or halting or lessening the buyback program. However, in October 18, when the Fed actually met, they said that the economy hasn't improved, at least for the states. It hasn't significantly improved. Hence, they said that we're probably going to maintain this. And that's, you could see that in the several weeks that followed, the markets globally reacted positively.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, quite recently, and I think the audience...
But that was also during the shutdown.
That's right. And this also happened during the shutdown, because there was a disagreement regarding it was a bit political, regarding the Obamacare and the debt ceiling crisis. So they were able to also reach an agreement, and of course the markets reacted positively.
So when you say that, okay, America is having problems right now, and it's actually good for the Philippines, it's actually good for Far East, is that what's happening
it's
there?
A bit, especially this year, it's been a bit quite contradictory. Now, when they see that economic data has actually become positive, they react negatively, because the markets think that the QE tapering, the buyback programs, which is stimulating the economy, will sort of hamper the economic growth. But this is really just sort of a short-term effect, right?
Yes,
so what's happening, because even if they start tapering,
it's like just patching a wound, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So when they feel that the wound is fine, then they'll remove the Band-Aid, right? I think the economists are just worried that the tapering would happen too abruptly. So I think the reason why they didn't want the QE tapering to happen so soon was that the economy still has to recover, and this could be seen in the GDP and the jobs data coming out.
Okay. And so that was the effect last October.
October at least.
Okay, because I remember that they said now that when a friend of ours said that when America sneezes, the Philippines catches gold. Catches gold, not cold. Before it was cold, right?
Okay,
but now it catches gold. So that's kind of what happened.
That is what was happening, at least for October. Of course, if I fast forward to November,
yes,
I think we sort of derailed from the U.S. markets because of what happened in the Philippines, and everyone can relate. That the impact of the typhoon was felt through a lot of businesses, and several or millions of people were displaced, and that's why I guess the markets also reacted negatively, not just the locals but also the foreigners, right? Especially since they had probably less information than we had as to what was happening.
Okay. And so now with the influx of the money coming, the aid and all that, do you think that will somehow uh, will be good for our economy?
In the disregarding what's happening to typhoon, at least from a growth perspective, the effect will be much more positively felt. But this will probably happen maybe in the next few months. But on the short term, at least for this year, I would say, growth will be a bit laggard right now because, well, as you can see that, for one thing, first they have to mobilize the resources and come up with a decent plan, right, for the construction. And
well,
second,
Ping Lacson is now taking care
exactly.
of that.
So hopefully, things will be put into motion, and the sooner the better, right? And of course, we've heard a lot of news items that people are cutting down their spending. Even the companies, I think, are postponing their Christmas parties.
Yeah.
I've heard of some companies have actually donated their 13th month bonus.
Wow, that's
a
lot of self-sacrifice.
I know they prefer to be unnamed, right? And you can see all of this happening. So this is going to be the short-term effect that probably the growth will not be as strong as it was in the last few quarters. I think we had 5 consecutive quarters of 7% growth.
And
so
now we're looking at what, 3%, is it?
they were conservative as to say that it could go down as 4%. And the most optimistic I've seen so far was around probably 6.2%. I'm more on the positive side because if you say that we only grow 4% this quarter, it's almost saying that quarter on quarter it was nil growth that we experienced. But I would expect it to pick up. And as you pointed out, I would have to say that a lot of the funds that we're donating, it's already, it's probably going to be they're going to be start spending it for the rehabilitation, the construction of those areas that were affected by the typhoon.
So it's good to buy construction companies.
There are a lot of companies that could benefit. One, as you were saying, is construction companies, depending on which of these companies will be involved in the rehabilitation. Maybe for those that are also, for goods that have to be bought for the companies, maybe some of the basic consumer goods, for example. Probably you won't see luxury items spiking because people will actually be either, will cut back from spending or they'll use the money also to buy the basic food items for these victims.
Okay, you talked about 13 months. We had a question earlier about getting into the market at this point. It's low, and so he or she is willing to give her 13-month pay and put it in the market. How, do you advise that she do that right now?
Well, my perspective is that there could be some continuation of the weak performance of the market. Historically, December is usually a positive month because the foreign fund managers will window dress, meaning they will actually sort of pump up the prices of the stocks just so it looks good in their portfolios. And
this is December, on the December.
This is usually December. On a short-term basis, probably it would be, she could actually put it in. But if she's someone who doesn't really actively monitor the market, then I wouldn't advise her to do so. The Regina Capital's view is that probably to wait for January and February because, as I mentioned, the debt ceiling talk, it was postponed, and Congress is going to meet again during that time.
This is January, February.
Around that time. Second, also the fourth quarter GDP numbers will come out, so we're going to see the full effect of the typhoon. So those are probably what's going to weigh in the performance of the market, at least for the beginning of the year for 2014.
So right now we're still in gray water. We still don't know what's going to happen next year. Is that what's
exactly? And I
right
think
now?
with what adds to the certainty is because we still have to see the full extent of the damage, and we're probably going to be piecing this up little by little. For example, I think in a few days we're going to be coming out with the inflation reports. That's going to be our first glimpse into the effect of that typhoon. How has it actually affected the prices of basic food items, for example.
Yeah.
So at least we have the November report.
Okay. So, okay, we have to take a pause for a short break. And again, if you'd like, please get in touch with us to 0917-862-7576. You can join our conversation. We'll see you in a few minutes.